Here's the raw truth. Feeling unloved isn't always about the love that's missing. It's about the love we can't let in. You can have people who care about you, who show up for you, who say all the right things. But if somewhere deep down you believe you're unworthy, that love will bounce right off. Research tells us that the way we experience love isn't just about what's given to us. It's about what we believe about ourselves. If shame whispers, "You're not enough," or if past wounds taught you love is conditional, you'll keep love at arm's length, even when it's standing right in front of you. So today we're going to talk about that, why some of us never feel loved, even when we are, and more importantly, how we start changing that story, because you are loved. The real question is, are you willing to believe it? Love isn't just about being surrounded by people who care. It's about allowing ourselves to feel it. If we've built walls around our hearts, even the most genuine love can't get through. The first step is recognizing that love is not something we earn, it's something we allow. And I know on paper that sounds simple, but in real life, it's messy. Because for a lot of us, the ability to receive love got tangled up in conditions early on. Maybe love came with expectations: be good, be easy, don't cause trouble. Maybe it felt inconsistent, there when we performed well, withdrawn when we disappointed, or maybe it was just absent, making us question whether love was ever meant for us at all. So we learned, we adapted, we built resilience. And somewhere in that process, we also built a belief, one we didn't even know we were carrying: love is something I have to prove myself worthy of. And let me tell you, when you believe that, it doesn't matter how much love comes your way, it will never feel like enough. Because if you believe love is something you have to deserve, then every act of kindness, every expression of care, every single "I love you" gets filtered through a lens of doubt. Did they really mean that? Would they still love me if they knew the whole truth? Are they just saying this because they feel obligated? That doubt, that's the wall. That's the thing keeping love out. Research shows that when people struggle with self-worth, they also struggle to trust love when it shows up. Instead of feeling secure, they wait for the other shoe to drop. They analyze, they question, they prepare themselves just in case. And I get it. When love has felt conditional in the past, you start to believe it's always conditional. But here's where we get it wrong. Love, real love, isn't about conditions. It's not a performance. It's not a test you pass or fail. Love is given. And if we don't believe that, if we keep treating it like something we have to hustle for, we will always feel like we're chasing it instead of standing in it. So what do? First, we get honest with ourselves. If love feels distant, if you constantly feel unseen or unappreciated, the hardest question to ask is, am I letting love in? Not, do people love me? Not, am I worthy of love? But am I actually receiving the love that's already here? And if the answer is no, that's not failure, that's awareness, and awareness gives us choices. We can start by recognizing when we dismiss love, when we brush off a compliment, downplay kindness, or assume someone's affection isn't real. We can notice when we shrink away from connection out of fear instead of truth. And most of all, we can start replacing that old tired belief, I have to be worthy of love, with a new one. I am worthy of love right now as I am. Because love isn't about earning. It's about allowing. And when you stop standing in your own way, you don't have to chase love anymore. You just have to receive it. Shame and self-worth shape our ability to feel love. Research shows that people who struggle with shame often struggle to receive love, even when it's abundant. If deep down we believe we're not enough, love feels undeserved. The key? Learning to separate our worth from our wounds. And let's be real, shame is sneaky. It doesn't just announce itself. It doesn't walk in the door and say, hey, I'm here to make you feel unworthy of love today. No, shame is subtle. It hides in the way we brush off compliments, the way we over-explain when someone does something kind for us, the way we struggle to say, I need help or I miss you, because deep down we're afraid of what those words might cost us. Shame thrives in silence. It convinces us that if people really knew us, if they saw the messy, unfiltered version, they'd walk away. So we armor up, we hide the parts of ourselves we think are unlovable, and then when love comes our way, we don't trust it. Because how could we? If we're only showing half of ourselves, we can't fully receive love. It will always feel like it's meant for someone else. And this isn't just a personal struggle. It's wired into us. Research shows that shame triggers the same parts of the brain as physical pain. It literally hurts. So when shame is present, our instinct is to protect ourselves. We distance, we push people away. And ironically, the very thing we want, connection, love, belonging, becomes the thing we avoid. So how do we change this? It starts with naming it. Shame cannot survive being spoken. The moment we say, I feel unworthy, I struggle to let people in, I don't believe I deserve love, we take away some of its power. We bring it into the light. And that light, that's where healing happens. We also have to start challenging the stories we tell ourselves. Shame is full of lies. It says, you're not good enough. You don't matter. You have to be perfect to be loved. But those aren't truths. They're just old narratives, often written in childhood, shaped by moments that made us feel small. And just because a story started long ago doesn't mean we have to keep living by it. One of the biggest shifts we can make is learning to separate who we are from what we've been through. You are not your worst moments. You are not your failures. You are not the person who was ignored, abandoned, or made to feel unworthy. Those things happened, but they are not you. You are worthy of love not because of what you've done or haven't done, not because of how strong you are or how much you've proven. You are worthy simply because you exist. And the more you believe that, the more you allow yourself to feel loved. Because love doesn't require perfection, it requires presence. And when we stop letting shame dictate our worth, we don't just invite love in, we finally feel it. We only accept the love we were taught to recognize. Our earliest experiences with love shape what we believe about it. If love in the past was conditional, inconsistent, or painful, healthy love might feel foreign, even suspicious. But here's the truth. Love is not supposed to hurt. We have the power to redefine it. And that's where things get complicated, right? Because we don't just wake up one day and decide how we experience love. It's shaped long before we even have words for it. It's in the way our parents held us or didn't. It's in how love was given when we were good and withheld when we weren't. It's in whether we felt safe being ourselves or learned to shrink, perform, or earn our place in the world. So if love early on came with conditions, be what I need you to be and I'll love you, then as adults, we internalize that. We start believing that's just how love works, that we have to be easy, agreeable, low mental, that love is a transaction, not something freely given. Or maybe love was unpredictable, some days warm, other days cold, some days full of affection, other days distant and silent. If that was our reality, we learned to keep our guard up, to never fully trust, because when love has felt unstable, we develop this deep, unspoken fear. What if it doesn't last? What if I let my guard down and it disappears? And here's the hardest part. Our brains don't just accept love. They recognize patterns. If the only love we've ever known was inconsistent, unavailable, or painful, then the kind of love that is steady, safe, and kind won't feel like love at first. It might feel boring, uncertain, even uncomfortable. Not because it's wrong, but because it doesn't fit the blueprint we were given. That's why so many of us end up chasing the wrong kind of love. We're drawn to what's familiar even when it's unhealthy. We seek out the highs and lows, the emotional roller coaster, the love that makes us work for it. Because somewhere inside we believe that's what love is supposed to be, but it's not. Love, real love, doesn't keep you guessing. It doesn't make you feel small or invisible, or like you're constantly trying to prove you're enough. Love isn't something you have to perform for, it's something you get to rest in. So how do we unlearn the old patterns? We start by questioning the stories we've carried. The ones that tell us love has to be hard, that stability is dull, that kindness is weakness. Those are not truths. Those are survival mechanisms we learned from experiences that weren't reflective of real, healthy love. And then we practice receiving love differently. When someone offers kindness, we resist the urge to dismiss it. When someone shows up for us, we let them. When love feels unfamiliar but safe, We remind ourselves just because this is new doesn't mean it's wrong. Because here's the thing, when we redefine love, we change our capacity to experience it. And that means we don't just accept love, we finally feel it in the way we were meant to all along. Vulnerability is the bridge to real connection. Love requires being seen, and being seen requires vulnerability. When we don't express our needs, fears, or emotions, we keep love at a distance. True intimacy comes when we let people in, not just when we love them, but when we let them love us back. And I know vulnerability is terrifying. It feels like standing in the middle of a crowded room with your heart in your hands, hoping no one crushes it. It's the moment right before you say, I miss you, or I need help, or I'm struggling, and not knowing what's going to happen next. For a lot of us, vulnerability feels like a risk we're not sure we can afford to take. Maybe we've tried before and it didn't go well. Maybe we opened up and someone walked away. Maybe we showed too much of ourselves and it was met with silence, judgment, or worse, rejection. So we tell ourselves, I don't need to be vulnerable. I can handle things on my own. And we get really good at appearing strong, at holding it all together, at being the person other people lean on while keeping our own struggles locked inside. But here's the problem with that. Love cannot reach what we refuse to reveal. We can be surrounded by people who care about us, but if we never let them see us, the real us, love will always feel just out of reach. Because love is not just about giving, it's about receiving. And to receive love, we have to be open to it. That means letting people in even when it's uncomfortable. It means saying, I'm struggling with this, or I feel insecure about that, or I need to know that I matter to you. It means believing that love isn't just for the parts of us that are polished and presentable, but for the messy, unfiltered, real versions of who we are. And yes, vulnerability comes with risk. Not everyone will respond the way we hope. But here's what I know for sure. Not being vulnerable doesn't protect us from pain. It only guarantees loneliness. Because when we close ourselves off to hurt, we also close ourselves off to love. We miss out on the deep, meaningful connections that only come when we're willing to be fully seen. So the real question is, are we willing to take the risk, to stop playing it safe, to believe that the right people, the ones who truly love us, will meet our vulnerability with kindness, not rejection? Because when we do, something shifts. We stop feeling like we're on the outside of love, looking in. We stop carrying the weight of our struggles alone. We stop performing and start belonging. And that's when love becomes real. Not just something we give, but something we finally fully feel. Rewriting the story starts within. No one else can make you feel loved. You have to believe you're worthy of it. That belief isn't built overnight, but every time you practice self-compassion, challenge old narratives, and lean into connection instead of retreating, you rewrite the story. And when you rewrite the story, you change the way you feel love. It's easy to get caught up in the idea that someone else's love or lack of it determines our worth. We place so much weight on how others see us, how they love us, whether they show up for us in the way we need. But here's the truth. No one can love you in a way that heals your wounds if you're still carrying the belief that you're unworthy of love. That belief doesn't disappear on its own. It's not something we can just wish away or hope someone else will fix for us. And this is the hard part. We are the ones who have to rewrite it. For a lot of us, the stories we tell ourselves about love are rooted in old experiences. Maybe you grew up believing that love came with strings attached. Maybe you learned to believe that being loved meant having to perform, to meet expectations, to constantly be good enough. Or maybe you were taught that love was something you had to fight for, something you had to earn. And when those old beliefs are stuck in the back of your mind, they become the lens through which you view everything. But the thing is, just because a story started in the past doesn't mean it has to control your future. Every day, every moment, you get the chance to choose a new narrative, to say, I am enough as I am. I am worthy of love just because I exist. It's not easy. We have to learn how to talk to ourselves with compassion instead of criticism. When we mess up, when we fall short, when we don't meet our own expectations, the old story will try to creep back in. But this is where we get to decide, will we choose to believe the lie that we're unworthy, or will we choose to believe the truth that we are enough just as we are. And as we rewrite this story, something incredible happens. We start to notice the ways love shows up in our lives that we might have missed before. We start to recognize the small acts of care, the moments of connection, the ways people show up for us in their own imperfect, beautiful ways. We start to see that love is not about perfection, it's about presence. It's about showing up, being seen, and choosing to stay open. This is where the real magic happens. When we believe that we are worthy of love, we stop chasing it and we start experiencing it. We stop measuring ourselves against impossible standards, and we start appreciating the love that's already here in the people around us, in the relationships we have, and in the way we show up for ourselves. So rewrite your story. It's yours to tell. Every time you choose to believe in your worth, every time you let go of an old belief that no longer serves you, you open up a new chapter. And in that chapter, love is already there waiting for you to recognize it. As we wrap up today, I want you to remember this. You are worthy of love, not because of what you do, not because of how perfect you are, not because of how much you perform or earn it. You are worthy because you exist. Love isn't something to chase. It's something to receive, something to embrace, and something to let in. When you stop trying to prove your worth, when you begin to trust that love is already here, that's when you'll feel it in its purest form. You don't have to be perfect to be loved. You just have to be real, to let people see you for who you truly are, and to open yourself up to the connection that's already waiting. It's time to rewrite the story you've been carrying. It's time to choose to believe in your worth, to stop questioning whether you deserve love, and to start accepting it fully, exactly as you are.